Hi, I'm Nafazida, postgraduate student from University of Malaya. On behalf of other researchers, Dr. Sumaya, Dr. Goh Chun Hian, Professor Pheo Kiao Min, Professor Mo Pintan, we would like to share our peak idea on bit-to-bit blood pressure variability and the cognitive function in the NELO study. Dear audience, are you ready to grow old? As age correlates with some comorbidities, health becomes our main priority, right? So when we are at age 60 years, we might suffer from dementia, cardiovascular disease, and cerebrovascular disease. These three comorbidities are interrelated and point into one major risk factor known as hypertension. World Health Organization reported 1 in 4 men and 1 in 5 women has hypertension. Those who have hypertension might increase 45% of having dementia, 47% of having coronary heart disease, and 54% of having strokes. This hypertension presents due to the genetic, high salt intake, and dysregulation of autonomic nervous system. Published study reported that autonomic nervous system was linked with the blood pressure variability, which indirectly it indicates the presence of hypertension. What is blood pressure variability? It is the fluctuations of blood pressure over a period of time by measuring through clinic visits, home visit, and even each heartbeat. Currently, hypertension diagnosed using one-off BP measurement via clinic visits or home visit. While actually our blood pressure varies for each heartbeat. The variation is known as bit-to-bit blood pressure variability. As the technology grows, our engineer developed a device to measure continuous blood pressure variability. By measuring blood pressure variability bit-to-bit, it might prevent from losing significant value. The drop of continuous from bit-to-bit blood pressure variability from supine to standing has popular in orthostatic hypertension. However, less study is known in the bit-to-bit blood pressure variability and the cognitive decline. Therefore, this study is aimed to evaluate the relationship between bit-to-bit blood pressure variability and cognitive performance among individuals aged 55 years and above. How we conduct our study? We utilize data from Malaysian Elders Longitudinal Research Study, which recruited from 3 parliamentary constituencies. The participants were aged 55 years and above, selected through sampling and stratified by age and ethnicity. For the continuous blood pressure, it was recorded during 5 minutes supine using non-invasive blood pressure monitoring with the vascular unloading method. Once this vascular unloading method were measured using this task force machine. Once you obtain the BP measurement, we will transform the measurement into the mathematical calculation using MATLAB software. In this study, we use standard deviation, coefficient of variation, and average variability as our blood pressure variability indices. For the cognitive assessment, we use Montreal Cognitive Assessment Tools. It contains 7 domains with the total MoCA score is 30 score. For this 30 score, we classify into 3 groups, which first group is those who obtain 0 to 20 MoCA score. Second group, those who obtain 21 to 25 MoCA score, while group 3 is those who obtain 26 to 30 MoCA score. This cut off based on Worsley, Montiel, and Asserdian 2020. This is the first result. Participants' characteristic. We have total number of 1,170 participants who classify into 3 MoCA score groups. 34 of them obtained 0 to 21 who were classified in group 1, while 41.8% obtained in group 2 who obtained 21 to 25 MoCA score, while the balance 27.8 were classified into group 3 who obtained 26 and above. Based on the characteristic, we found that age level of education, number of comorbidity, history of alcohol consumption, depression, anxiety levels were significantly different across MOCA score, with the p-value less than 0.05. Further on, we investigate the association between beat-to-beat blood pressure variability and the cognitive function. As our blood pressure variability was non-normally distributed, we transformed into logarithm 10, and the higher group of MOCA score being as a reference. With odd ratio 1, above 1 indicates heart risk, while lower than 1 indicates lower risk of cognitive impairment based on the multinomial logistic. So, our study found that before we adjust, standard deviation, coefficient of variation, and average variability were significantly associated with group 1 compared to group 3, while only average variability was significant in the group 2 compared to group 3. It means increased blood pressure variability, either standard deviation or coefficient of variation, as well as the average variability, increase the cognitive impairment. However, for the average variability, when we adjust with the age, sex, years of education, it remains significant for the group 1 versus group 3. While for the group 2 compared to group 3, it lost its significance after we adjust with the years of education. Means that with increase of one mercury blood pressure variability, increase 10 times most likely to have cognitive impairment, while the years of education might be as a covariates. So, beat-to-beat blood pressure variability partially capture autonomic nervous system regulation. Blood pressure variability in our study indicates poor cognitive performance, while age, sex, and educational level being as coverage of this relationship. However, the mechanism that may link in this relationship might be complicated. It might due to the presence of dysregulation of cerebral autorregulatory system or presence of atrial stiffness, which means increased blood pressure variability if there is either one dysregulation of these two mechanisms. It might produce the cerebral hypoperfusion, and at the end, it develops the cognitive impairment. As conclusion, high blood pressure variability is associated with the poor cognitive performance. In future study, identify potential modifier factor for this relationship, while it may present as a potential solution for prevention of the dementia. These are references. With that, thank you.